KYC Chain Limited will share a short presentation on KYC Chain as an example of the transformation blockchain technology could bring to regulation and compliance. Take it away, Mr. Lowell.
Sure, before I begin, I'd like to say thank you very much to Singapore MIS for putting on the event. Thank you very much to Switzerland Franklin IIF for inviting me. Thank you to all the compliance officers, lawyers, and others that I've spoken to and really helped shape this product over the past few years. So what is KYC Chain? KYC Chain is blockchain digital rails that is an industry-led KYC shared utility and is designed to create a digital identity. So the thesis behind this project is that in the future, you won't just keep your money at the bank, you'll keep your identity at the bank. And when you think about all the different fintech companies that are attacking the core lines of business for financial institutions, what do banks have in the future to look for new revenue-generating activities? And I think that banks are perfectly positioned to be the stewards of our identity. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that in this presentation. But first, let's talk about the big problem, the elephant in the room. Almost every presentation today talks about KYC and the problems and the pains associated with KYC. So the first and foremost is very high costs associated with onboarding a client, especially an institutional client. Goldman Sachs estimates that the cost is between $15,000 US and $50,000 US per client for just the onboarding and the associated tasks. And these costs are rising. They're up over 18% in the last 12 months alone. That's a statistic from Thomson Reuters. The time which it takes to onboard a person or an entity in Asia can take up to 26 days. And really where our thesis is that this is because there's no digital identity. So because of this, we're having to go through the KYC process over and over again. We're not really getting any real benefit from that. It's a duplicative process. We gather the same exact documents, the same exact data. So in response to this, the industry has come up with the concept of a KYC shared utility. So in a KYC shared utility, the customers can update their KYC. The banks can then share that KYC either with one company or with the customer themselves. And the regulators have KYC auditability, so they're able to look with anonymized data and be able to see what's happening. Andrew mentioned that in the last presentation. So here on the larger KYC landscape is the KYC shared utilities that already exist, and some new fintech companies who are breaking those souls to try to solve this problem. And on the left side of the screen, you have the closed source MySQL database. What that means is a single source of truth, where that's the database that we're relying on. And on the right side of the screen, you have a few startups who are looking to use distributed ledger technology, DLT, in order to solve this problem of KYC and digital identity more broadly. So I think first we have to address, is there really a market need for this? So have the existing centralized KYC shared utilities work? In some sense, I would say that they have. They've proved savings for financial institutions of around 40%. However, in Asia, there's a particular reluctance by some of the buy-side institutions to actually work with a centralized utility because they don't want to give their data to a third party. So we have to really think about that. And another question I have is, when we're evaluating centralized KYC utilities, the answer is a single large database the right answer? Because when you have a single large database, you're just going to find failure. And some of the offerings have digital identity, some don't. But really, the digital identity, we want to give to the person having own their own identity. And at the end of the day, the cost, time, and pain of KYC still exists. So I do think it's worthwhile for fintech companies and all different types, sizes of companies to go after this matter. So what my thesis is that the financial industry needs a common digital rails for KYC. And one answer I'd like to give is I do think blockchain digital rails would be the answer for this. So Goldman Sachs agrees with me. They said there can be industry-wide savings around 50%. And really, the difference between a database and a blockchain is that the database is a single point of failure where it's centralized, where all of the different market participants have their relationship with one company, one database. And a distributed approach, whether it's blockchain or other technology, connects the banks directly to their customers, be it legal entities or natural persons. And this is a decentralized approach that really allows for digital identity. So what we're talking about here is joining different data sources together with blockchain. So on the top layer, we have the banks, the KYC utilities, and government. This is where the stewards of our identity will hold our documents. Then there's an application layer, KYC Chain Limited is one of those companies, but there are just as well the other participants who play in the application layer. And the customers are the ones who are actually empowered by the system because they're a self-sovereign identity. We're actually owning the keys to their identity and use the blockchain to interact with that. That's all that a blockchain is. So while this might seem complicated or somehow esoteric, as a customer, it would actually be a very delightful experience. So I already have an account with OneDay. here's the documents I would like to share. I'd like to share this document, not that document, this document, and then share. And that's it. It's a very human experience. Imagine signing up for a financial service by scanning the QR code, sharing your documents, and then your immediate enabled access. That's the future. That's what we're working towards. So this is the screen where I went onto Google and I Googled bank reference letter, and I came up with a few different templates from various different financial institutions. And this is what the financial industry relies upon today. It's not actually that good. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Anyone can Google bank reference letter, anyone can open Photoshop, and they can put their name there. And in the future, a logo on the letterhead is not good enough. So you need to work towards creating different sources of truth which are actually mathematically reliable. So with the blockchain, what we can do is we can create a mathematically certain bank reference letter. So in the old way, bank is relying upon essentially a logo and the diagram on the sheet of paper. In the new way, we can use the distributed ledger technology to receive an instant data verification that's mathematically certain. And if we think about the possibilities beyond this, if we have various different banks and financial institutions holding our identity, those banks can start offering proof of that identity to other financial participants, other companies. So now what we've done is we've turned a compliance spend into revenue generating activity. So it's not that complicated. Let's think about if I can prove that I'm over 18 because I want to enter a movie theater. I don't necessarily want to give them my ID or my passport, or something that has my name, my address on it, right? All of that I want to prove to the movie theater is that I'm over 18. And the bank has already checked that, right? So they've already run it when I set up the account, looked into my background, into my situation, determined at least that I'm over 18, and a lot of other things about me as well. So imagine, as a customer, being able to make that available in a privacy-preserving manner. So these are some of the things that blockchain specifically is the right technology to solve this because it allows for things like zero knowledge-based proofs. So ZK keys are somewhat esoteric technology, but basically what it allows for is for me to reveal something about myself without revealing everything about myself. So if I need to prove that I'm an accredited or professional investor, I can prove that via smart workflow on blockchain that links into my account and checks to make sure that my account bounces over $1 million. And then because of that, I'm able to open up a specific brokerage account or prove that I'm a certain type of trader. So this is just sort of the start and beginning of what this technology can allow for. I think that this will create a wellspring of activity supported by the regulators because now fintech companies can create all types of microservices on top of this. So Brad Greer mentioned it earlier, right? So this can really be a wellspring of activity for fintech, and is a specific reason why regulators should look at it. So we've been building this project since 2013, and we've learned a lot in that time. Firstly, we learned that not all blockchains are suitable for digital identity. Some are suitable for some purposes, others for other things, but by and large, hashing things to the blockchain is not an acceptable way of doing things because it allows you to correlate something to a person. And when you have correlatability, then you've lost some of the privacy that would be allowed. And another thing that we've learned is that it's not just technology. We can build the greatest technology in the world, but if we don't have the people behind it, and if there hasn't been a process that's changed, then really we can accomplish nothing. So this is something that requires acceptance through larger market participants. So what we're working on right now is putting together a consortium of banks across the region. Right now we're mostly focused on Hong Kong, and we've had several different meetings where we've gathered financial institutions into a room. We've managed to earn paths, as I like to call it. And in the first meeting, we had 15 different financial institutions in our meeting. In the second meeting, we had 20 different financial institutions. We had over 50 people. So there's clearly an interest in the financial institutions to do something about this, right? Everyone agrees that there's a problem with KYC. Everyone's interested in solving this problem. But we actually need to work together to solve this problem. If everyone worked independently, it just will be a fragmented market. We won't get the result that we're looking for. So I think that it's part regulator, it's part industry, it's part technology companies. They really have to work symbiotically. So this is what our rollout looks like over the next year. What we're trying to do is do POC with our consortium the next Q1, Q2, and then Q3, Q4 going to sandboxes in the region, actually do a pilot with customer data, aiming for a production system in 2018. And I think lastly, in aggregating, putting the slide on because there's a lot of text, but I think that this is really important to leave the retail customer and consumer with. So this is the creator of the backbone of the internet, Christopher Allen. He created TLS, and he talks about 10 principles of self-sovereign identity. And really, any identity system that we're creating should embody these attributes. It should be very secure. We need to make sure that where our data is protected. What could be more important than our identity? We need to make sure that it's available, it's persistent. We need to make sure that it's under the control of the user. It shouldn't be controlled, in my opinion, by a government or a financial institution. It should be secured by the financial institution and perhaps given to us by the government, but it should be owned by the individual. And it should be very portable, so the user should be able to take this data other places and be able to use it throughout the ecosystem. And I think that blockchain and digital rails provides these mechanisms quite well. And thank you all very much for your time today.